Today we have a band called Inkvisitor, that is Ink plus Visitor, doesn't make any sense. So let's welcome these trashy guys from in the mid part of Finland. Guys, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, I'm Jesse. I play lead guitar in Inkvisitor, and I'm also the only founding member here in this band because the whole lineup changed in last year or so.
Yes, and I'm Tino. I'm the drummer, and I'm the newest member to the No, not the newest, but the second oldest member in the new lineup.
Yeah, I'm Markus. I'm the vocalist of the band, and well, yeah, I joined after Tino, so we did a lot of work, the three of us.
Yep, concerning the new album.
So that is an excellent bridge to the theme of today, new album. So you just recently, well, I don't know when this is going to be out, but anyway, spring 2018 was the release time for your second album, and the whole lineup, like you said already, has changed since the first one. What was going on? Why did you have to go through this?
Basically, the reasons are really anticlimactic. The other guys who quit just didn't have the motivation to go on because at the time we were writing stuff for the second album, it just came apparent that we are going to raise the bar much higher than on the first album. So the guys that just didn't have the motivation and time and money to spend to the band, it's like there's no drama or such, and it was pretty like
basically they just quit.
Yeah, it was like mutual, no bad blood or anything. Even the second guitarist Lauri, who wrote half of the songs for the album, still played his parts on the album. So it's like the swan song of the old Inkvisitor and the game opener for the new one. It's like, because it's mixed both old people and new people of Inkvisitor. And when I go to Jyväskylä where we rehearsed, I always stay at his place, so he's a good friend of mine still. It's just the way it is. The band started to require much more attention and input that those guys just didn't have anymore.
Your name, Inkvisitor, we kind of figure out what's going on, but have you realized it's like Ink plus Visit?
Yeah.
So, is this a joke name? Is it just a joke band? Or is it just everything is, serious, but we just play with words? How does it play out?
Actually, it has some kind of logic behind the name. In fact, I came up the name in 2009 or so, before I even played guitar. I had the band name, which comes from the English word Inkvisitor, but it's like the Nordic version of it, because when you type in Google Inkvisitor, you get a lot of stuff, and there's also, if I recall, it's a Chilean black metal band called Inkvisitor.
Well, nowadays US,
yeah. So, but when you type Inkvisitor into Google, you find nothing else but stuff related to us. So it was a unique name, it's easy to shout, and it has a homage to our Nordic heritage.
And it sounds
in a way.
Cool.
Yeah, and it sounds
So,
cool.
are you all about Inquisition? Like, let's burn the heretics, let's cross them,
In a way, because I felt that there was supposed to be some kind of cleansing in modern music, and also our themes on the albums are like, well, the first EP was a more party oriented, but then we dropped that stuff and moved on to more mature stuff.
Your music is thrash metal. That is not very trendy, it's not very hype if you compare it to other extreme metal, say death metal, black metal, or even other kind of extreme metal. Why thrash metal?
Actually, I guess it's because it has a certain vibe of rock and roll in it. You can incorporate a lot of stuff inside thrash metal, and also it has really good vibes when you play it. You can smile when you play it, and
yeah, you don't have to be so serious about it.
It's fun music to play.
Yeah.
Is it more about having fun, and like, oh my god, I like this, play this guitar, or is it more about we should, play to the audience? Like, maybe this is a really boring riff, but the audience will have the most fun.
We don't never use boring riff. It's a boring riff that gets cut out from the song, but maybe in a way it's both, because it's entertaining for people to watch, and it's fun for us to play music like that, because it's like the feeling that you're driving an old American muscle car with like pedal to the metal style.
It makes your legs move and your head also.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sporty metal. I'm just kidding. But anyway, your new album has quite dark theme. There are pentagrams. Your name kind of suggests that this is so fucking satanic and all that stuff. Are you trying to label yourself as let's try to sell this as a black metal album, but inside we have trashy? Or what's the story here? I know that you're a team album, but I'll let you tell the story.
I think for me, what it means, the way it's presented, is like we're just trying to confuse people, I don't like to label ourselves as
in any way,
but just for shits and giggles, if someone wants to do something with, look at it and this is this, so that's his or her opinion. It doesn't matter to us or me.
What does matter to you in the first place?
I think the actually for me, I came up with the story behind the album. I wanted to, on our first EP, like I said, there was really more party oriented. This thing called beer thrash. Yeah. Like it's all about pizza, beer, and maybe maybe nuclear holocaust. We wanted to move away from that and get more into this kind of where Megadeth used to be, like really.
Before he moved on to Jesus.
Yeah, before that, like Rust in Peace era and Killing Is My Business. Like you have a certain message to convey to the people, and also I'm a huge fan of like a lot of movies, and I'm also a huge fan of concept albums. So it's kind of like was a perfect match to make a story that's dark and also has a hidden message between the lines, and well, it's like a horror story with the neo-noir kind of angle.
I'm gonna reveal something to the audience. On the album, everything is pretty, consistent, but in the end, there's this fart track, kind of a hidden joke. I mean, how does it play out? Okay, there's a horror story, a crime story, lots of violence, and then suddenly.
Yeah, it was.
What the hell is going on? Why did you decide to do that?
It was a funny story actually when we were recording Marcus's vocals, and at certain times there were frustration.
There was this ad-lib stuff like.
Yeah, so then Marcus is screaming his lungs out, and so then we had some spare time, and Marcus took a little bit of rest, and then the mixing guy, we started editing Marcus's weird sounds, and then it ended up.
And he was like, wait a minute, I have this cool effect here.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute, I'll do this more.
But that's only on the physical album. You cannot hear it online. So it's only.
Gladly. Don't get offended. Yeah. But I hate when a nice album ends up with a really bad mess. With a joke, because it kind of ruins. It's like, okay, now it's like a climax. It's like having sex and then somebody, has poop on bed or something. It's like, oh shit, like literally, oh shit,
There's actually 3 bonus tracks on the physical record. There's the last track, which is actually like a real song, the Slatka song. Then there's the fart track, and then there's a hidden track, which I didn't reveal how you can get it out from the record, but it's there. There's total of 3 songs hidden on the album. And when we did the fart track, we were kind enough that we didn't make that when they did the 90s, it was like you put a 30-minute track that has a silence between it, and then there's like 30 seconds of that. We were kind enough that cut it.
That would just mean that we would send you hate mail.
Yeah.
We were doing that. Anyhow, So thrash metal, let's go back to that topic. Thrash metal, you know, in general, it's not a big thing, and it seems like all the giants are, well, not dying exactly, but you know, Slayer is talking about final tours, Metallica won't be there forever, everybody's getting old, Anthrax, Megadeth, and number of smaller names from the 80s.
Yeah.
So, will you be the torch bearer for the future, or will it just die out?
I certainly hope so, that we are the torch bearer, not that it dies out, but I certainly hope so. There's I guess even in Finland there's really, the bar is set really high concerning all the thrash metal acts that are here.
Well, pretty much all the bands, I think.
Yeah, in Finland it's like different because no matter the subgenre of metal, all the bands are like pretty good, at least.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna die out. You can kill the metal, but
it's just that the young people need to find that stuff. But luckily, there's a new new generation coming up that have discovered Stone and like digging the archive and found this old stuff, like, hey, this music genre exists, it's fucking great, I love this stuff, I wish there would be more. And then they start to dig in and they found that there are new bands.
Which reminds me that SWAT Records recently, like a few months ago, released its thrash metal kind of classics from Finland, where quite a few unknown names. And now some of those kind of deceased bands are stepping back to the game, even though they're kind of old farts. Do you think it's kind of a cool thing that they're coming back from their graves, or should you know, these old bands just, you know, like stay dead and let the youngsters take the stage?
I guess it's like a natural competition. If the old bands can come up with the fresh stuff, then go for it. But if not, then I guess the natural selection takes care of them.
But there will be a time when they have to step aside, you know, everybody.
Yeah, eventually.
They can't do Kiss.
Yeah,
You know, like, oh, take this mask and go on the stage.
Yeah. They have to move and make room for new bands.
Yeah, but it's a natural selection. But then again, if an old band comes up with good stuff, it's go for it. Good music is good music, no matter who plays that.
What keeps you inspired in terms of doing music? Where do you get your kicks from?
I guess one part is like always try to do better for yourself, exceed yourself, like raise one step higher every time you do something. That's one. The other one is like the hunger to make the band grow, that play bigger shows and people listen to your music more. And some of it's just stuff that comes from your spine that you just, if you wanted to quit, you couldn't, because there's like some inner voice inside of you
telling you that you just can't.
Yes, there's a fire inside of you, just you can't put that stuff out. It's just it has to come out in some way. For us it's playing music.
Yeah, and for me it's really essential to keep doing new music and stuff, just to get the stuff out of my system. And the way I keep metal music interesting for me is I practice much like jazz music and funk, and I listen to a lot of artists who are not playing metal. So then when we come back and all 5 of us get back to the rehearsal place, I get this insane feeling that, oh fuck yeah, tomorrow is a new show, and that's really inspiring.
Yeah, and if I didn't do this, my head would like explode, I think, or something like that. But it's always great to create something new, or try to create something someone hasn't done, and combine like different things that form a new
combination.
Yeah, a new combination, yeah. Because we listen to a lot of different music actually. We might have some common bands we all like Gojira might be one, and Pantera, yeah. But Jesse likes his progressive rock and metal, like Tool and
a lot of 80s like glam stuff.
Yeah,
I'm crazy about it.
And then Make is a huge fan of punk music, and I draw a lot of influences from death metal and black metal. So then I think that really brings something new to the table. There is this thrash foundation, of course, but then there are several other things.
Yeah, influence is coming from everyone have like different influences, and it's like it keeps things fresh. If all of us would listen to the same bands, I guess the music would be quite boring.
It's a good soup, you know. If you put
Yeah.
only potatoes in a soup, it's a shitty soup, you know.
Yeah.
You have to put like different things.
Yeah, flavors.
So
I just love when it comes to to food stories. I use it so often in my reviews. So we're about to conclude here, but about food on the plate. What kind of compromises would you be willing to take if there's a label and would be saying like, we will sign you if you just change the style towards this and that, because now you're self-financed. What kind of steps would you take in order to reach the leash of the labels, or are you just rather going like, piss off, we do it our own way and take the risks and whatnot?
It's tough.
Yeah,
Well,
it's tough.
it really depends what the like the claim would be. That what are the conditions.
Add more black metals to the soup.
Well, I'm not much of a black metal guy, so I think I just couldn't pull that off even if I wanted to. I guess
You just want your potato soup with some more cheese.
yeah. I guess I have to say that I wouldn't fly for that. Because
we have to do what we do, you know.
Yeah,
if
because
we
it's not
start
sincere.
doing something.
Yeah, it has to be honest and
authentic.
But can you do? Is this? I mean, is this a choice between being honest or being, a professional musician? Don't you think it can just, find this common ground? Like, okay, let's come a little bit here so we can do it pro and get a label and all that stuff, or is it more like stand for your ground and whatever?
Maybe a little bit both. It really depends, like what the actual the direction that they wanted us to go would be.
Yeah, for example, if we would go, more towards hair metal and 80s glam, maybe I would be up to it.
You just need to make up.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
If it would be come down to that, the things that we would have to fire some people, then it would be like no way.
Even if it was about like, Markus is doing way too much drugs, you gotta fire him. No, let's just,
That's different. But if
I was just
yeah. But if you got to ditch the vocalist and get to some a real singer,
Okay, I get
that
it.
would be a no-go.
So, what lies in the future? Now that you have second album out, what lies in the future? What are your plans?
Well, we are trying to get to tour Europe. That's on the works for us. That would be like the logical step to take to get out of Finland and go play the stuff out there, and then start to write and compose stuff for the third album, and then just wait for the reviews and all the interview stuff to come back from this album and see what people actually think about it. Because we haven't yet got maybe 4 reviews, so let's see how that thing goes. But yeah, touring Europe, writing new stuff. That's like our.
No, touring Asia, United States.
Yeah, of course that. But
Okay, there we go.
yeah.
So this ambition.
Yeah.
Okay, now everybody, less than 10 words sales pitch about your band and the new album. Go.
It's a good production, good songs, good atmosphere, and fresh lyrics. Go listen to that.
More than 10. You do it better.
well, there's lots of different music other than thrash metal in it, so everyone gets something in it.
Way more than 10. Can you pull it?
We have trust in you, boy.
That was 1,
Yeah,
2.
3.
It's a good thrash metal. Go check those guys out and all that stuff.
Good songs. Read between the lines, maybe.
Or lies, like the Slayer put it. This is Inkvisitor. Go check out their samples online. They play genuine thrash metal, no gimmicks, maybe a little bit progressiveness, but surely worth your listening time. And if you get the chance, go see them live, unless that is you are a, can I say it? Word that starts with P and ends in Y. Okay, see you soon and say bye to Inkvisitor. Go check out.
See you soon.
Nyt varmaan tässä 30 minuuttia.
No niin, kiitos tulla.
Kiitos.